Mensuration. Now see, mensuration is a very wide topic, so I will be discussing it in two pieces. Before moving on with the topic mensuration, I want to discuss the basic knowledge of shapes. See, you must have heard about the words 2D and 3D. Do you know the difference between them? Yes, there is a very small difference, but that makes the biggest change in the both the shapes. See, what is the difference is, as the word 2D, here D stands for dimensions. So by the word 2D we mean to say it has two dimensions. The shapes that have two dimensions are known as 2D shapes, and the shapes that have three dimensions will be known as the 3D shapes. Now what is the actual meaning of having two dimension or three dimension? Having two dimension means, say for example, we have a rectangle. We all are familiar with this rectangle shape, right? It has a length and a breadth. See, it has only two measurement quantities to be done, right? One is length and other one is breadth. But if you consider a cube or a cuboid, I am making a cube. If you consider a cube, do you know how many dimensions does a cube have? If you want to make a cube, what should you know? You should know its length, this one, its breadth and its height. Now see, it has three parameters with it. Alright, length, breadth and height. But over here we have only two parameters, that is length and breadth. So that is the difference between having two dimensions and three dimensions. Now one more difference. Two dimensions can have only areas. See, area is what? What is the difference between area and volume? Area is a surface phenomenon, right? What do I mean by that? It means area is actually the space covered by any object. For example, if I am going to place this marker on the board over here, right? How much area is this marker covering? That how much space is the marker covering? That is known as the area, right? But if I ask you how much ink or how much refill it needs to be done, that quantity it can occupy, right? That is known as the volume. Now see, again I am explaining. For example, you want to construct your home, you would be considering the area, how much area your house is going to occupy. But if you want to know how much water you should take in a jug, how much water your jug can hold, that is volume. So I hope you have become clear with the concept of volume, areas, 2D and 3D, because this chapter is about perimeter, area, surface area and volume. That is why you should be very clear with the concepts of surface areas, volumes, perimeters. Now one more thing, perimeter. We have discussed area and volume. We will discuss about perimeter also. See, perimeter is nothing but actually the length. Which length are we talking about? See, we are not talking about this length over here. We are talking about the length of the boundary. Be it any shape, all you have to do is consider the length of the boundary. For example, I would say, take this rectangle. If you start walking from this point and you want to come back to this point, how much length do you have to travel? That will be my perimeter. That would be B plus L. Again, both the opposite sides are equal for rectangle. So this will also be B and this one will be L again. So the perimeter for this would be B plus L plus B plus L. That means how much distance you are traveling when you are walking on its boundary. In simple words, it is the length of the boundary. Same goes with square also. You start walking from here, went up to here and you come back to the same point. So how much distance have you covered is your perimeter. Same goes in all the cases as well as in circle. You start from any point and you come back to the same point after traveling on its boundary. So how much distance have you traveled while you were walking on its boundary is your perimeter. Now we will be discussing the area, perimeter and other formulas for all the shapes that we would come across. Let us start. Okay, We are doing perimeter and area. Mensuration, as I told you, is divided into two parts, perimeter and area and volume and surface area. So we will be doing first the perimeter part, we will cover the perimeter and area part, and later on we will discuss the next part of the chapter. So let us start with the rectangle. As we can see, rectangle is a two-dimensional shape. It has a length and a breadth, and we are also familiar that its opposite sides are equal. So I would say even this side is B and this side is also equal to L. Now what is the formula for area of the rectangle? We all are familiar, but still I want you to revise it. It is length into breadth. Similarly, as I discussed, the perimeter, its perimeter would be equal to L plus B plus L plus B. Either you do this way, or we have a direct formula for this, that is 2 into L plus B. You can use it any way you want, but the direct formula that is prescribed for this rectangle perimeter is 2 into L plus B. Now let us do square. Square has all the sides equal. So if one side measurement is A, the all other sides will also be equal to the A measurement only. That means the area would be equal to A into A, because the length for this is A, the breadth for this is also A only. So we get the area as A into A. Let us do the perimeter for square now. What do you think will be the perimeter? As we discussed, the perimeter would be when you start walking from one point across the length of the boundary and you come back to the same point. But how much have you covered? It would be A plus A plus A plus A. But over here you can write it directly as 4A. Right? One more thing I would like to discuss here, as I have made another column for formulas, you might have to use some formulas other than area and perimeter. So I will be discussing them separately if it is required in any case. See, for example, in this case, yes, we have a formula. You must have been familiar with the term diagonal. What do you mean by diagonal? Diagonal means any line that join the two opposite vertices of any shape. Now see, I have made two diagonals over here. If you are given this side, you have to find the length of the diagonal. For that, the formula will be given like this. Diagonal will be equal to under root 2 into whatever the side measurement is given, or you can directly write it as under root 2a. Here A stands for the whatever measurement is given for the side. Now let us move on to the triangle. Area for triangle is equal to 1 by 2 into the base into the height. Now one more thing I want to explain over here before moving forward is your height depends on what base are you taking. For example, I am naming it A, B and C. If I am taking BC as the base, then the line perpendicular from A to BC would be my height. But if I would have taken AB as the base, if this would have been my base, the height would have been this way. Right? The perpendicular from C on AB would have depicted my height. Same goes if I have taken base as AC. Then the height would have been the perpendicular from opposite vertex B. Understood? Please make this very clear into your mind that the height is decided by the base that you take. The base of the triangle decides which one height are you going to choose for your calculations. So, moving on to perimeter, the perimeter for this would be sum of three sides. See, there we are not sure of whether it is going to be an equilateral triangle, isosceles triangle or a scalene triangle. So we can simply write the perimeter as sum of the three sides, whatever be the measurement of the three sides. Understood? Next we will be doing parallelogram. Now see, parallelogram looks a lot like rectangle, but it is not such. Why? Because here the opposite sides are equal and parallel, but they are at some angles. Over here you would compare that over here all your angles are 90 degrees, but that is not the case in case of parallelogram. over here you would notice the angles would be different, right? So this makes the parallelogram and not the rectangle. So let us discuss what will be the area of parallelogram over here. Area of parallelogram is equal to base into height, right? What we do is the same way. We consider the base and from opposite vertex we draw a perpendicular on the same base that shows our height. Same goes the other way also. If I would have taken A as the base, right, then what would have been my height? I would have constructed a perpendicular from the opposite vertex on this, right, and that would have depicted my height. Similarly, what will be the perimeter for parallelogram? It would be 2 into A plus B, as it would have been if you would have done it. I told you parallelogram has opposite sides equal. That means this opposite side would also have been measurement A, and if this is A, this also would have been A. So what would have been the perimeter? It should have been A plus B plus A plus B, or you write the direct formula 2 into A plus B. Both will give you the same answer. Now next we will consider the circle. Circle, as we are aware, has one dimension, that is radius, or you might have been given the other dimension name as diameter. What is diameter? Diameter is actually the complete one. This whole complete line depicts your diameter, a line that passes through the center and divides the circle into two parts. That is known as the diameter. What is radius now? Radius is half of diameter. This complete was my diameter. If I take only half of that, that will depict my radius. Now, what is the formula of area of circle? It is pi r square. Now here, what do you mean by pi? See, pi is a constant. It is a mathematical constant. It has a fixed value. We have discussed constants and variables earlier chapters. In that, I told you that constants are those whose value remains fixed all the time. You cannot change their values. So over here, the value of pi remains same. That is 22 by 7, or you can take it as 3.14 also. Right? So I have mentioned the value of pi is 22 by 7 or 3.14. It will be given to you in the question which one of these you have to use. If it is not mentioned, you can use any of them. Generally, the fraction form is preferred because it makes the calculations simpler. Okay, now moving on to the perimeter of the circle. We have given one terminology to the perimeter of circle, that is known as the circumference. Okay, do not get confused where is this new term coming from. Circumference is nothing else but the perimeter of the circle. So perimeter of the circle is given as 2 pi r. Over here the pi remains constant, which was 22 by 7 or 3.14. R represents the radius of the circle. So these are the formulas of area and perimeter for these shapes. We will be discussing the